Welcome back to Living Limitless. Conquer shame and play your way to freedom. I put this series together to support women as they come forward in their lives, reawakening to their authority. For me, I often refer to myself as the legacy liberator because I stand for women. I serve women as they reignite their passion, their power, and their purpose. So I'm really excited that today we have with us Griselda Beck. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me. I've been looking forward to this.
Awesome. And I'd love for you to tell us in your own words a bit about you and your work.
Sure. I'm a business coach. And so I support women entrepreneurs who are building their businesses and creating change out in the world, being a stand for change out in the world. I used to run a multi-million-dollar public company. And so I bring that mindset and the strategy and marketing strategy and help them run their companies like the confident CEO that's inside of them.
Outstanding. And I know I've seen Griselda give some really big talks on stage and a lot in the multicultural community. It feels like that's something that keeps popping up on my social media feed of like, here's Griselda on stage again, talking to, empowering women and standing for women of all walks of life and, grounding into their message, grounding into who they are. So just been really, I admire you and I'm just really glad you're here.
Thank you. Well, funny you say that, grounding into who they are, because I'm speaking more and more on sexual empowerment and for women to really find the freedom in giving themselves permission to see what it is that they want in the bedroom and in the boardroom. So in their business and in their personal lives, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's all connected. So.
Wow. Well, that for me, the light comes on when I think of this talk the series that we're a part of. And when you talk about sexuality and women, the word shame in the title, I know when that idea was coming forward, it felt a little edgy and maybe deeper than some people might want to go. Maybe it should say overcome fear, or live a fearless life. But in a lot of the work that I've done and the leaders I've talked to, once you get a couple layers down from just the word fear, it seems that shame or having been shamed in some way or feeling as though you were being shamed in some way from our history, from our past, it often is really what's stopping us from like moving forward towards our goals because there's some story there.
Absolutely. And so I never considered myself to feel shame. When I would hear about it in books and things like that, I'm like, I consider myself a very open, very liberal person. But what I didn't realize is shame is really about judgment, right? And the shame we feel is about self-judgment. Self-judgment based on messages that we heard in the past. Maybe we were very free and open and someone looked at us a certain way. We felt judged, rejected, abandoned, might have experienced any one or all three of those. And so we learned to quiet that part, hide it, right? From certain circles, certain areas of our life. And in the third book that's coming out soon, I just sent the proof back to the publisher this morning. I talked about that. There was a picture that a person that I was dating took of me. It was a sexy picture, and he said, "Let me take this one off of my phone, and I want you to see what I see." There was just this moment that he was just in awe, and he grabbed my phone, took the picture, and then I looked at it and I was like, wow, like my body looked amazing. I was radiant, like sexy, fun, flirty. And he's like, "Can I have a copy of the picture?" I was like, "No." No, because what if this turns into, by accident, you could lose your phone, it could end up in the wrong hands. And, he said, "What's the difference between that and a bathing suit?" I don't understand. Like, I was actually covered. There was nothing showing.
Mhm.
Fast forward, I did some work with a dating coach. We had some affirmations. I told her about the story. She had me write some things down on my mirror. And 18 months after that incident, I, without thinking, shared the picture with somebody, a woman who was going through a similar journey. And we were talking about how empowering certain shoots could be. And so I shared my picture without even thinking about it. She was like, wow, such a goddess. And the way she described it, I realized in that moment, like, oh my gosh, I just shared it without shame. I stopped thinking about it. And I couldn't even see back then. All I could see was like, it was like porn. But it's not, I mean, Victoria's Secrets has way more revealing and provocative pictures. But I share this with you because these things that hold us back, it was holding me back from taking a stage. It was holding me back from wanting to be too visible, because what if somebody could see through? What if somebody could see that I was a bad girl, that I lived this other life, and then I would lose everything? And so before I even started, I was already keeping myself from doing anything, right? And this happens maybe in different ways, but with a lot of entrepreneurs. And so I am on a mission to just empower women to give themselves the permission to release those beliefs, to release that judgment of self, to step into self-love and acceptance, and with confidence, with power, step forward and be all of who they are and serve with the mission that's on their heart.
So how do you, because we have so many amazing individuals coming onto this series, how do you support a woman or a man, but how do you support a client who knows that they're stuck? And maybe there's some fear there. So what are some modalities or ways of workshopping that you offer your clients, and how you stand for them, and like returning to that innate empowerment that we all have, just that we slapped a bunch of crap on growing up? So how do you like reinstate that with them?
To do the really deep work, it's working alongside them one-on-one, because in that capacity, when they come to me, they don't know what it is. If they knew what it is, they'd just fix it. Right? What it presents as is, my sales aren't working, no one's knocking on my door, I don't want to show up to do lead gen, strategy stuff. Right? And that's why they come to me. But as we're working through and we see where they're getting stuck, we dig deeper, and then we can see what's really behind it. And it ends up being these things maybe from childhood or a failed relationship or things like that that are really holding people back because of their fears and their judgment and self-beat up. So in workshops, when I have a very short amount of time with them, I might have them go back and think of what's a time that they were really happy. What did it feel like? Where were they? All that. What is it that they really want? And we go through a visualization exercise. We can do that here if you'd like. And they stand literally in that future moment and embody all of what it feels like, what it smells like, all of the senses. And then we go through the gap. What's the fear? We know that this is possible. We know that you've been happy. What's holding you back from what you want to feel right now? And have them list out their fears. So if it was somebody like me who wanted to make it to a stage one day, what's holding you back from sending out the pitch, right, to be on that stage? It's like, I don't know them. I don't want to bother them. I don't, you don't want to ask for support. And so what would happen if you did? What would happen if they say no? What would you feel? So we go through all those fears in one column. And in the next column, we have them write all of what's opposite. So what ends up coming out in this exercise is a lot of times there'll be a fear that I won't be enough. I had a big one that I won't be able to keep up with the success level, that I'll just have to keep working more and more and more and more, and I won't be able to do it. What's on the opposite of that? I am enough. Right? And so they go through this, and then I have them circle their top 3 positive words, and those become the affirmations that they embody and embrace for the next few weeks, to carry them through that breakthrough.
I love the practicality of all of that. And also how it's not a dwelling on fear. I think a lot of people decide not to hire a coach or try some new introspective therapy because and I've actually gotten this feedback before from friends just saying, I don't want something to be revealed that's way down in my subconscious, or I know I have trauma. I don't want to relive it. So therefore I'm never going to work intimately with someone to step beyond the fear, to step beyond that, because I'm afraid of what will come up. And so it's like fear, fear on top of fear on top of fear.
Yeah, they don't want to feel
Yeah.
what they don't know, right? You don't even know what's underneath there. And so what if it hurts too bad?
Exactly.
Mm.
I'd love to do either of those. The visualization, feeling into the future, that feels like that feels like it would be something fun and also practical that anyone watching could experience with us or with you as our guide.
Sure. Let's do it. We run this exercise oftentimes as we're going through the course of the year. People start to face burnout when they try things and they don't work and they're not getting the results that they wanted. Your spirit just kind of gets tired and feeling like, what's the point? I'm never going to get there. And so one way that we reground when they're scattered and their motivation is through the floor is by doing this visualization exercise. So I'd love to share it with you. So let's close our eyes. And I want you to think of, what is that thing that you really want? For some like me, I could see myself standing on a stage, speaking to a sea of women in a stadium, thousands and thousands of women. And I could clearly see in the first few rows the specific faces of a few of them as their eyes begin to light up. Maybe a tear as they start to realize the power is truly within them. I feel the warmth of the lights. For others, it may be the freedom to be on a vacation with their family, free of a phone, free of the internet, free of email, free of the pressures of work, and just being able to feel the sand between their toes, playing with their little kids as they chase the tide that goes in and out, those waves. Maybe they get splashed by a wave that catches them off guard, and just reveling in the smile and giggly laughter of their children. This moment, we call this moment the moment that it was all for. So I invite you now to picture in your mind's eye, with your eyes closed, what is this moment for you? This moment that it was all for. Maybe you're achieving that thing that you've been striving for all this time. Maybe it's a moment of happiness and freedom with the people that you love. Go there now. Sit in that moment. Keep keeping your eyes closed, and this image in your mind's eye, look around. Are there mountains? Is there an ocean? Maybe a lake? What's beneath you? Is it a platform, like a stage? Concrete as you're running and maybe passing the tape on a race? Is there sand beneath your toes? Grass? Maybe the rocks of a pebbly shore at a lake. Smell. Do you smell the salty sea air? Is it pine? Trees? Or is it the room? Smelling the new furniture? Revel in this moment. How does it feel in your body? What are the sensations that are coming up? Maybe there's a warmth in your chest, a warmth in your belly, butterflies in your belly. Do you feel any heat from lights or the sun? Are you gazing up and looking at the majestic stars? Take in the sights. Take in the smell. Take in the touch, the textures that are around you. Take in the sounds. This is the moment that it was all for. Take note of the emotions that are coming up for you right now. Is it joy, peace, freedom, love, playfulness? Take a mental and embodied image of this moment right now. Save it into your mind, what this feels like, what it sounds like, what it looks like, what it tastes like. Remember that this is very possible. This is your future. And now we get to bring it into this present moment, bringing with us all of the feelings and the sights and the sounds and how it feels in your body. Bring the warmth back with you to this moment. Bring the butterflies. For some of you, maybe you have a little bit of like a cool sensation on your skin, maybe some goosebumps, a rush. Bring that with you. We get to embody this moment today and bring that future into our present. We're going to take a couple breaths here. I'm going to breathe in for 4 counts and breathe out slowly for 4 counts. And here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2 seconds and release slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. We'll do it one more time. Breathe in slowly. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold for 2 seconds and breathe out slowly. 4, 3, 2, 1. And open your eyes when you're ready.
Thank you.
Yeah.
That was fun. I had a single tear well up in one of my eyes.
Yeah, what it does is it helps to calm our nervous system. It helps to calm our fears. It allows us to see and feel what is possible. Yeah. Right. And it regrounds you in why you're doing this in the first place. Knowing there's going to be ups and downs, knowing there's going to be things that work and things that definitely don't work, as we're moving towards this future. And it's so easy to see in retrospect, right? Whenever we've accomplished something, how everything was perfect and how it all worked out, and how I'm so glad I didn't use that first title, because the 20th title was actually the one that worked and connected with people. And had I done that, that wouldn't have worked. But it doesn't feel that way when you're in the stuckness and the ickiness and in the moment. And so when you can give your mind that hindsight by moving into the future, it makes today and the struggles that we're having today much more palpable and easier to deal with and to process and to accept. So that's really what it's about. It's just accepting that this is the suck right now. And there's something on the other side of this.
Yes. The future already exists. The future that I see, it's already real. And this exercise shows that. And then in this moment right here, we get to keep putting one foot in front of the other, giving ourselves grace and staying connected to the why. I think we've even talked before about Simon Sinek.
Yes.
And his Start With Why, his book, Start With Why, and TED Talk about having your why. Yes. And a business coach I've worked with before talked about having a selfish why and a service why. And selfish is, we have so much negativity around that word, but a self-oriented why. And then a service-oriented why. And I love how in this visualization, a person could go either way. Like it could be, like for a moment, I saw myself holding hands with a group of women and almost like skipping in a circle. It was, but so joyous and so supportive of one another. And I could really see that. And that felt very strongly service oriented, that I was part of a retreat or part of some kind of up level, some kind of self-actualization oriented retreat of sorts. And then also the more self-oriented why, or a family-oriented why, or success-oriented why, was my family holding hands walking into Disneyland.
Oh.
And I could feel at the time that I went last, my kids were not old enough to go on the Indiana Jones ride.
Yeah.
Or a Space Odyssey. I mean, there are so many rides that are for 4 feet and over. And my kids are still, right around the 4 feet mark. So the next time we go, I could feel my hands holding on to the safety bar and go the part of the ride where there's like a giant fireball, I think, that rolls towards you as you're on the ride. I could just feel like screaming and, the rush and the thrill of getting to show that ride to my kids, because they've not yet experienced that. So thank you.
I love that. Yeah. I remember when people said you have to match the vibration of the thing that you want. And I'm like, what does that mean? So this visualization really helped me to feel the emotion of what I would feel if I had the thing. And I get to feel that emotion now. And that's how we move towards the thing that we're wanting, or that moment that we're desiring. And so, yeah, it was very helpful. And I love that both of those sides came up for you. And who's to say that you might not do a retreat in Anaheim?
There you go. There you go.
Where you have a weekend with your family, or a week vacation with your family too. That's beautiful.
Oh, that actually sounds perfect, because a lot of the leaders that I admire are in the LA area.
Yeah.
Between like San Diego all the way to San Francisco.
Oh, come visit me.
Yes, we'll go and visit Griselda and all of the many of the amazing leadership oriented individuals that I've met over the years. That actually sounds like a beautiful marriage right there. Retreat with me, and then the kids and husband can come for
Yeah.
the vacation-y part.
Mhm.
Perfect.
Our
Perfect,
beaches are
perfect.
beautiful.
Yes. Well, I feel as though we've really provided some value to you, the viewer, and Griselda. I know that every single one of our speakers is going to share a gift or some kind of offer are that they've created for this particular audience. Are you open to talking a bit about that and where we can find it?
Yeah. I actually have a one-on-one session with me to discover what some of these limiting beliefs have been, or some of these blocks that are holding you back. So if you're feeling any sort of pattern where I always get stuck here,
Mhm.
I'd love to meet with you and have an open conversation. No subject is off the table, and kind of dig into and look to see what that is and create a plan for you to move past that.
Awesome. Wow. So digging in and then strategizing the next steps. Who
Yeah.
wouldn't want to have that special one-on-one support,
Yeah.
guidance, and accountability
Yeah.
with Griselda?
Yes, and those are typically $1,500. It's 2-hour session with me, but you can have it. It's a gift for your audience.
Wow. Thank you for
Mhm.
your generosity. So
Yeah,
I trust that everyone will take advantage of that. If that's landing, if that resonates on any level, then we'll make sure that you either have that here on this page, or we will send you a separate email that has each gift that's provided by each of our experts. So thank you, Griselda, so much for
yeah.
that.
Mhm.
And for our audience, keep an eye on your email and make sure to join the Awake Free community, because in those two environments, we will be sharing upcoming workshops that are built for you to up level areas of your life that really matter to you. And so that's wrapping this particular conversation. Thank you all for joining Living Limitless. I'm Andrea Luzon, and we've had with us Griselda Beck. Thank you so much.
Thank you.